हसरत है हमारी बाबा, कर दो वो पूरी आके। मिल जाओ प्यारे बाबा हम बच्चों से आके। मिल जाओ प्यारे बाबा हम बच्चों से आके।
आज बाप दादा हर एक छोटे बड़े चारों ओर के देश विदेश के बच्चों का भाग्य देख हर्षित हो रही। ऐसा भाग्य सारे कलम में सिवाय ब्रह्मांड आत्माओं के किसी का भी नहीं हो सकता। देवताएं भी ब्रह्मांड जीवन को श्रेष्ठ मानते हैं। हर एक अपने जीवन के आद से देखो कि हमारा भाग्य जन्मते ही कितना श्रेष्ठ है। जीवन में जन्मते ही माँ बाप की पालना का भाग्य मिलता है। उसके बाद पढ़ाई का भाग्य मिलता है। उसके आगे गुरु द्वारा मत व वरदान मिलता है। आप बच्चों की पालना पढ़ाई और श्रीमत वरदान देने वाला को परम आत्मा द्वारा यह तीनों ही प्राप्त है। पालना देखो, परमात्मा पालना कितने थोड़े घोटों में से कोई को मिलती। परमात्मा शिक्षा की पढ़ाई सिवाय आपके किसको नहीं मिलती। सतगुरु द्वारा श्रीमत वरदान आपको ही प्राप्त है। तो अपने भाग्य को अच्छी तरह से जानते हो। भाग्य को स्मृति में रखते हुए झूलते रहते हो, गीत गाते रहते हो। वाह मेरा भाग्य।
बड़ी मन भावनी मुरली प्रेम से प्राणों को सींचे। रसीली तान की ये डोर आपकी ओर ही खींचे, आपकी ओर ही खींचे। रूहानी स्नेह का जादू आपकी मीठी बातों में। रूहानी स्नेह का जादू आपकी मीठी बातों में।
ओम शांति। Inculcate the virtue of sweetness and love in your life, and all other virtues will easily come. Truth and sweetness in your words. You children must definitely have the inculcation of two virtues in your life. First, sweetness, and second, humility. With the inculcation of these two virtues, you will constantly be a world benefactor, a great donor, and a blessed image who grants blessings, and you will easily be able to give the proof of love. If you have truth and sweetness in your words, you will accumulate marks in the subject of serving with your words. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vikti Parivar. Today's day 4. Inculcate the virtue of sweetness and love in your life, and all other virtues will easily come. Today's topic: truth and sweetness in your words. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, Baba's sweet, sweet children. Right? Every time Baba starts speaking, first word comes out of his mouth is sweet. Every time, whether it is Murli or even when he met us personally, sweet child, sweet children. So from our heart, we also say how sweet our Baba is, right? Very sweet. And that sweetness was visible into through his eyes, through his words, the care which we got. Baba always looked at us as sweet and fortunate children. Baba had been also talking about our fortune, how much we are appreciative about our father, our teacher, and our Sadguru. This morning's Murli was very, very lovely. Baba loves us. Always remember that God loves us. So little things shouldn't bother us, right? Human beings, souls go through their own inner personal journey. And sometimes they try, or we also have this weakness. We are affected by what they go through in their journey. And then not only we are affected, we are influenced and allow our stage to go up and down. I am on my own journey, right? I remember there was a time when in the beginning, when I came in Gyan, so we used to offer Bhog, right? So there were many trance messengers at that time. It was to an extent that even when we are going with our tray of Bhog, we will see many on the way. But everyone Thursday morning taking Bhog to Baba. And then when we returned, everyone shared their own message, the message of Baba. But everyone was shown something different. Even now there are some, they will see more scenic things and see all that more, and some they just get message, just pure knowledge. So it's different, right? And it will remain different. So I shouldn't start either doubting myself and trusting others. It's very interesting. Many, many souls, I find they lose their own self-respect. I cannot depend on how much respect I get. It's all right. Yesterday, Baba said, God's self-respect. God gave us that respect. And we all are different actors. We have different role to play. Recognize your own self-respect, and also the part you have to play. It's not that I have to be role conscious, but also expectation of others from me is different, right? Even we don't necessarily live on titles, but also we have to act based on the title too. We call Brahma Baba the founding father of the organization. So founding father means all the foundation of Brahman life, all the principles are being followed by Brahma Baba. He never forgot that I am father, or I am the one who everyone will look at. For years, we will just give reference. For years, we will give reference, right, of what Brahma Baba did, how he did, what he said. And we shouldn't forget that there are same for each one of us, for each one. Someone in the family, one person, everyone will say, this one goes to BK's, Brahma Kumaris. So what you do, you don't do. They will definitely refer, right? So our reference should come in a way which helps others also, inspire others. And for that, one of the important quality, or two rather, as I was saying, truth and sweetness. So underline this, and this is our homework for tomorrow. Truth and sweetness in your words. Mostly, the complaint is about forceful words. Can you do it? No, you do it. They are very, very humble, humility. When they do management course, first thing they tell them. One is, did you understand? Others is, did I explain properly that you all could understand? Some people say they didn't remember, they didn't understand, but did I say it the way I should have said? I have to make sure that they understand. That means I have to use the words and the style and the speed even. Sometimes they say so fast that you don't even understand. So how to be a good leader, good coordinator, good, is when there is politeness, sweetness. You children must definitely have inculcation of two virtues in your life: sweetness and humility. With the inculcation of these two virtues, you will constantly be a world benefactor, a great donor, a blessed image who grants blessings, and you will be able to give the proof of love. If you have truth and sweetness in your words, you will accumulate marks in the subject of serving with your words. So impact, longer, intensive impact is when your words are sweet and truthful. Like it will keep ringing in people's hearts, the way you speak. Because words have a big, big impact. So the truth and sweetness in our words is our homework for tomorrow. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Didi, Om Shanti family.
Om Shanti.
I love the way you started this evening, and with this very, very simple, perhaps it was a question, but also it was a statement: God loves us. So simple, right? And I've been thinking about that because, we always talk about the message that we need to give to everyone. And somehow or the other, it's, comes back to me more strongly than before that this is probably what people need to hear or feel more of, that God loves us. Of course, we go through a lot to give the introduction of God, but just the fact that he loves us so much and he expresses it at this time through his teaching, through his drishti, through all of that. So in terms of the message, and I think you were speaking earlier about staying true to the message that we have to give. Yes, of course, all of us have felt it, Baba's love, to some extent, to a lot of extent perhaps, but why is it difficult to convey this message? God loves us sometimes.
It's not difficult, but there are a lot of things in our head from what people think. Anything we think, what people think, then what Baba says, then what I think. Anytime you will say, anytime people also say, people say this, people think, I said, whatever. And then they say, everyone says this. So one time I said, can we count how many? So they said this one. And then after 3, there was no one. The way we are influenced very subtly, and that we could be discouraged, we could change our words, we could always try to see that what others think, that's how it should be. But if we have Baba in our heart, so we always will speak what Baba says. And when we do that, others can experience the love of God. But because I'm already, kind of influenced, so even if I'm saying Baba says it, very, very subtly I find deep in our minds and subconscious mind, I don't know, because we want people to like us or we want people to appreciate us. I think they will do it more if I am hearing God, I express God's love, and somewhere, I notice our thinking lot is really opinions of others. So how do we, like Brahma Baba, he said, he read scriptures, he had gurus and big family, lokik. But how he was able to take from God not only love, but knowledge, wisdom, even directions,
Mm.
His directions were completely different for what people believed. And so he just spoke, and what he spoke was truth. Even he had to mm, face so many adverse situations. People were against everything. Nobody knew what is word purity. Purity, people did never relate it to be free from vices because they thought that's normal life, right? To
Mm.
get upset, to get angry, to have greed. How can you earn if you don't have greed? How can you with family without attachment? But when we belong to Baba, it's completely different. You can only live together when there is no attachment. All fears, all conflict, uncertainties are because of attachment. But if you are lovely and detached, there is no fear of any kind. So I think that if we follow Brahma Baba, it should be easy. It should be easy. And actually, we should start now. Every talk, God loves you. Om Shanti, God loves us. So I
Beautiful. I was
yeah,
just going to ask you, do you think this is the most important message we have to give at this time to people?
yeah, because then they might think and start feeling that
Mm.
God loves me. So the problems they have, which they are overwhelmed with, when we say God loves you, they will go to God. You love me, okay, this is the situation I have. So they will talk to God, and then God has to respond, and of course, things can be better.
Very nice. Very nice. And maybe this is connected to the same question, but I was thinking also a lot about the difference Baba made today about how we think so much, right? We become embodiment of just our thinking versus the embodiment of awareness. And of course, awareness comes with a deeper experience, I think. But could you speak to it, the difference between the embodiment of thoughts and embodiment of awareness, the switch we have to make? What are one or two of the things that you can tell us that will help us to move in that direction, embodiment of awareness rather than thinking? Because we're so used to thinking so much. And we think we have experienced by thinking, but actually it's shifting to an awareness of that God's love or whatever else. Can
So
you that
everything begins with thinking, and the practice is also through thinking. But then you must be, if you are thinking, you should become aware, change it to awareness, embodiment. So Baba is saying that Sochita Sarup, another word which Baba used is Simriti Sarup. So I think that, let's say 10 times I am a soul. Okay, you are practicing I am soul. But again, if I am soul, I have to be loveful. If I am soul, I have to be peaceful. If I am soul, I have to be pure. That means you think of what exactly the awareness of the soul is. When I am in awareness of soul consciousness, my eternal form, my original form emerges in me. And then Baba further says, you are a Brahman soul, then you are a deity soul, and you are Swaдаrshan Chakradhari. All that is like dharana, in the sense of in practical life. And that is what Baba means, embodiment of awareness. Let's say you are upset or get angry, and someone will say, That's body consciousness, right?
Mhm.
Even you must be practicing whole morning about soul. But somewhere awareness is not being created. So we have to be really kind of introverted. And while being introverted, practice looking at other one. This one is a soul. So when you're looking at that one as a soul, the vibrations. Baba always says when you're giving 7 days course, just think this is my brother's soul. This is Baba's child. Even Brahma Baba himself, when he will meet people, he will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, go in his room. And then these officers have come, they have so many questions about organization, about money, about everything. And when Baba will come out and he will say, children, Om Shanti, and then start talking to them, they even forgot that they had many questions. So they were so impressed and melted. Of course, then they did ask, Baba, we have come. But they were not kind of investigating, but it was like out of love and duty, they were asking everything. And I remember one time I was going to Delhi for something, and Baba says, yes, if you will speak to that soul and look at that soul as soul and in soul consciousness, they could never say no to you for anything. Because in the beginning, we had to go for rationing and whatever we needed, we had to go to government and ministers and all of them. And Baba gave me this blessing, which I don't think I remember all the time, but whenever I remember, in soul consciousness, looking at the soul, whatever you will say or you need from them, they will not be able to say no. So that was something we all have to remember, that do everything. We practice soul consciousness in Baba's room, right? Or in classroom.
Right.
Not when we are on the field, no. If we practice all that wherever we go, you stand to give lecture, commentary, I am soul, and giving lecture to these souls. Take a minute or to create that awareness properly. So it has to be done in actions, not only while sitting. Our all practices are while sitting. That's okay. You are sochita. But if you really want to be Sarup, see, Sarup is sanskar. But sanskar is created in actions, right?
Right.
Not through thoughts. So when our sanskar will become soul consciousness, definitely we will become the embodiment of the awareness that I am soul.
Yeah. Very, very beautiful. Maybe that also connects something else that Baba was saying today about accumulating treasures. Say, for example, treasure of words. I think he was giving an example of, when you speak sweet words or benevolent words, that becomes a treasure. So it's actually a combination of a virtue, and your words that's making it into a treasure, right? He said. So does that connect with the practice that we are talking about, the awareness practice? Is that important for us to speak in the awareness and emerge that quality, for example, in order for those words to become like a treasure that we accumulate?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it, otherwise it becomes just an ordinary way of talking? But the practice before, as you were saying now, what we have to do is really deeply create that awareness and then say what you have to do, what you have to say. So is that how it becomes from an ordinary to, treasure, something very valuable that we take with us for the future?
Any virtue which we are using while doing actions become treasure. Right? That means you had been loving in while making Brahma Bhojan. You are very loving, love for Baba, love for the family, as Baba said. So when you doing in love, that action is not action, definitely becomes sanskar, but the quality you are. It's very important that what you're doing is one thing, but what is your state of mind you're doing? I'm doing because it's my duty or my department, or I'm doing for love for Yagya. So that is becoming treasure if you're doing with love. So love's treasure of love. See, treasures are our qualities and powers.
Right.
So as much while doing, I emerge a virtue. That much, that virtue will become treasures. That means you can use that virtue anytime. It's in your treasure. It becomes your nature also.
Mm. And
Because while doing actions, we forget. It's action, I have to get it accomplished. It should be all intellect is really in action.
mm,
And awareness is there, but it get merged. But if I immerse awareness of any quality, I have to stay in deep silence while I am making bhog. So it's becoming your treasure of silence.
mm, beautiful.
Because we are not combining virtue and awareness, right?
Mm, mm,
But if we combine it, then it will become awareness. You will find I am naturally like this now. That means there is treasure. I'm
mm,
naturally, my response naturally is in humility. So humility becomes your treasure.
mm, mm. Because I used to always think, why does Baba use this word treasure? And it was becoming more clear today, when he was saying about how you use these virtues, then it becomes treasure. Um, I don't know if we have time, but perhaps one last one. And I'm always struck, when Baba I think, talked today about many forms, the original form of the soul, the eternal form of the soul, the original form of the deity, Brahmin form. But when he was making reference to when we use the word, it is not my nature, it's in my nature, for example, he was asking the question, are you a Brahmin at that time, or are you a warrior? And I've often make that connection, not Brahmin or Shudra, but Brahmin or warrior. He particularly brings in this comparison because there's a little conflict or some kind of a battle going on inside. Maybe you can clarify, why does Baba use that analogy, Brahmin and warrior? Not so much Brahmin or Shudra. You don't go back to being a Shudra, but you are struggling with something and you're a warrior. Is that what he means?
See, when you become Brahmin, then you have aim, then you have purity, then your task as God's children. So Brahmin life, you have to be conqueror of vices, right? So
Mhm.
the battle gets started of you trying to do this, trying not to be this, not to. It's like you are fighting,
Mhm.
you are battling. There's a lot of reasoning on what you do is right. But
Mm.
actually, that your thinking could be warrior thinking, not Brahmin thinking. So there is always this struggle, and which is visible through people's argument, visible through the way they say things. So that is why what Baba meant is stay
Mm.
Brahmins. So there's nothing, no conflict in Shudra life because you do whatever way is fine, right?
Right.
Whatever words you use. But as Brahmin, you are image of Brahma, Brahma Kumari's organization. You are the image really as a Brahmin. So our conduct should also be like Brahma Baba, follow Brahma Baba. So definitely it has to be Brahmin or warrior, right?
Mhm. So we always try to justify, in one way or the other. So yeah.
The nature of defending is always there. And instead of listening and accepting that, yeah, maybe let me think about it. And when you say that, it's a Brahman quality, right?
Right. It's otherwise he says, "Oh, you have only died a little bit, not you haven't died the whole." So this is where it is.
Okay.
Are we done with the time? Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Didi.
संगम युग का वर्षा यही है, शिव से मिलन मनाना। समय श्वास संकल्प सभी सेवा में लगाना। पवित्रता बरसाए जग में, पवित्रता बरसाए जग में। फरिश्ता झलक तुम्हारी, फरिश्ता झलक तुम्हारी। शिव पिता ने दी है तुमको, शिव पिता ने दी है तुमको। श्रीमत कितनी प्यारी, श्रीमत कितनी प्यारी। मीठे बच्चों, प्यारे बच्चों।
जो बाबा के जीवन में भी परिवर्तनकारी बनी, विशेष रूप से जो पहला नंबर नर से नारायण बने, उनके जीवन में परिवर्तन कैसे आया। बाबा जो कहते हैं फॉलो फादर, तो फॉलो फादर इन व्हाट रेस्पेक्ट, किस बात में फॉलो करे बाप को। बाप का जिस रीत से परिवर्तन हुआ, उस रीत से हम उसको फॉलो करें, तभी तो हम बाप समान बनेंगे। बाप समान कैसे बन जाएंगे? अगर बाप समान परिवर्तन की प्रक्रिया हमारे में नहीं आएगी, परिवर्तन का पुरुषार्थ हम उनके समान नहीं करेंगे, तो फाइनल में उनके समान हम कैसे बनेंगे? विचार लगाइए। तो इसलिए हमें ये पहले ध्यान देना चाहिए। जैसे आप हिस्ट्री की किताब पढ़ते हैं या और कोई किताब पढ़ते हैं, उसमें से कई दफा कई चीजें ऐसी होती हैं जिसके साथ हाथ का निशान बना रहता है और लिखा रहता है इम्पॉर्टेंट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट या मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट होता है ना। और कई दफा हम समझते हैं ये कई दफा यूनिवर्सिटीज में कई साल में आ चुका है, तो हम अपनी तरफ से एक मोस्ट और लगा देते हैं, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, ताकि रिवीजन में हम इसको भूल ना जाएं। ये बहुत जरूरी है, ये आएगा ही आएगा, इट इज ए मस्ट, ये कई दफा आता है। इसी तरह से बाबा की जीवन कहानी जो एक परिवर्तन की कहानी है, जीवन कहानी को हम कहते ही ये हैं कि ये बाबा की जो जीवन कहानी है, ये ऐसी अलौकिक कहानी है जो मनुष्य के जीवन को परिवर्तन करने वाली कहानी है। और कहानियों में और बाबा की जीवन कहानी में ये विशेषता है। और आप कहानियां पढ़ें तो वो जीवन के परिवर्तन की कहानियां नहीं है, वो तो एक रुचिकर चीज है, इट्स एन इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी। आपने एक मनोरंजन के लिए कहानी पढ़ ली, हो गया। लेकिन बाबा के जो जीवन की कहानी है, जिसको हम अलौकिक जीवन कहानी कहें, वो परिवर्तन लाने वाली कहानी है। जो पढ़ेगा उसको उसकी परिवर्तन आएगा, अगर ठीक तरह से उसको पढ़ेगा। कोई भी व्यक्ति उसको पढ़ने के बाद ये नहीं कह सकता कि मुझ में कोई भी परिवर्तन नहीं। आज तक कितने लोग मुझे मिले होंगे जिन्होंने बाबा की जीवन कहानी हिंदी या इंग्लिश में पढ़ी होगी, जो ज्ञान में नहीं आए, ज्ञान में आने से पहले ही किसी ने उनको किताब दे दी और उन्होंने वो पढ़ी, तो वो हमें कहते हैं कि जी वो किताब बहुत अच्छी है। तो हमने उनसे कहा कि आपको क्या अच्छा लगा, ये जानने के लिए कि इनको अच्छी क्यों लगी है, क्या इन्होंने उसमें से प्राप्त किया। तो उनकी सारी बात सुनने के बाद हम इसी नतीजे पर पहुंचते हैं कि उसको पढ़ने के बाद उनके जीवन में भी थोड़ा बहुत परिवर्तन जरूर आया, वो भी उससे अनटच्ड नहीं रहे, अनचेंज्ड नहीं रहे। तो उनमें से भी उनकी तरफ जो बहुत ज्यादा चेंज करने वाली बातें थी, जिन्होंने उनकी तरफ ध्यान दिया उनके जीवन में ज्यादा परिवर्तन हुआ, और जिन्होंने उन तरफ ध्यान ना देके और बातों की तरफ ध्यान दिया उनमें कम परिवर्तन हुआ। ये हमने देखा। डिटेल्स तो बहुत है उसमें, तो उसमें आप 5-4 बातें जो मुख्य हैं, जो परिवर्तन के लिए जरूरी हैं, जिससे बाबा के जीवन में परिवर्तन आया, वो अगर हमारे जीवन से खिसक जाती हैं, हमारे मस्तिष्क से फिसल जाती हैं, तो आप देखेंगे कि हमारे भी परिवर्तन की प्रक्रिया अगर रुक नहीं जाती तो स्लो जरूर हो जाती। उसमें से पहले हम ये पढ़ते हैं, ये सुनते हैं कि बाबा ने विनाश का और सतयुग की सृष्टि का साक्षात्कार किया। ये 2 बातें बाबा के जीवन में परिवर्तनकारी हुई। बाबा तो हीरे जवाहरात का धंधा करते थे, भक्ति कर रहे थे और अपना लौकिक रूप से एक अच्छा जीवन व्यतीत कर रहे थे।
Om Shanti Avyakt Parivar. So tomorrow is Monday and our schedule from Amritwela 3:30 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. In the evening, there will be a Avyakt Children Murli class from 5 to 5:15. And then we will have Bhatti at 6 p.m. followed by Hindi series, English series and Avyakt Journey. Welcome to Avyakt Journey, Avyakt Murlis from 1969, multi-million-fold fortune and blessings.
Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of the 11th of July, 1972. Increasing decision power, realizing the qualities of the Father. So, look at yourself. Am I constantly experiencing the attainment of happiness in the Mela? Am I constantly celebrating a meeting? What would indicate those who are constantly celebrating in happiness? What would their speciality be? What would indicate those who stay in the supersensuous joy of constantly celebrating a meeting? What would their speciality be? Those who are constantly absorbed in celebrating a meeting will never become caught up with any obstacle. The meeting removes obstacles. Such souls will be destroyers of obstacles. A meeting is said to be with deep love. If any type of obstacle comes and you become influenced by the obstacle, then what does that signify? That you are not constantly celebrating a meeting. You tell others to recognize the time and to take benefit of the time. So, do you give this warning to yourself? Or Do you simply give this warning to others? When you give yourself this warning, then you are not able to stay away from a meeting for even 1 second. You will celebrate a meeting at every second. When a huge mela takes place, its time is fixed. This mela is going to last for this long, and then it finishes. A huge mela takes place for a very short time. And so what would you do? You would try to celebrate in that mela. In the same way, if you do not celebrate the mela of the confluence age, will this mela take place at any other time? It is only in this short time that the mela, the meeting of the father with the children takes place. So what should you do in this mela of a short time? You should celebrate it every second. So, while knowing the specialities of the time, imbibe those specialities in yourself, and you will automatically become elevated souls. Everyone's aim is to become an elevated soul, is it not? While having the aim to become elevated souls, why are your efforts ordinary? If your aim is elevated, then why are your qualifications those of an ordinary soul? What is the reason for this? You forget the aim. How can those who keep an aim forget their aim? Why is the power to find a solution to any problem lacking? What is the reason for this? Why are you not able to find a solution? Because of not finding a solution, you are not able to achieve the aim you have kept. Acha, we will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti.
शांति का शांति है समाई, अविनाशी है कमाई, जो तुमसे हमने पाई, यादें तुम्हारी बाबा। कल की है ना तो चिंता, ना काल की फिक्र है, हर हाल में भला जब हम पर तेरी नजर है, हर हाल में भला जब हम पर तेरी नजर है। दुनिया देह की अब किसको कहाँ खबर है, यादें तुम्हारी बाबा देती सुकून दिल को, यादें तुम्हारी बाबा देती सुकून दिल को, शीतल सी लहरियाँ थी पास आते एक पल को, यादें तुम्हारी बाबा।
Om Shanti, Om Shanti.